Hey folks, Landstryder here, and you're watching episode 31 in season 2 of my Nightmare series, hanging out in Agrarian Skies. And you might remember from last episode I was having some trouble getting this mariculture stuff to work the way I wanted it to. But what I've got now is I've got basically the setup as best as I could figure it out. And I did manage to make some titanium. Now this little thing right here, you see, is the ingot caster. And that is made by five burnt bricks in a cross pattern gives you an ingot caster, and this will allow you to cast 4 ingots at a time if you pump fluid in there. Now if you pump less than 4 ingots in there, it will go ahead and process either 1 or 2 or 3 depending on how much liquid metal you pump in there. Well, I've got a switch on this side that I've set up. This will allow me to pump into the ingot caster directly from the crucible furnace, and I still have this one on the back, and I went ahead and I reattached it to that. What I learned about the process that I was having trouble with is it takes 16,000 millibuckets, or 16 buckets of water, to do the process to get the manganese powder, and it takes 16 or 26,000 millibuckets, or 26 buckets of the liquid limestone that you make over here in the crucible furnace. So what I've done is this one is so I can feed some manganese into the back. I still have my setup here to refill this water tank, because what happens is in the process of making the manganese, some of the water gets used up, but not all of it. In fact, it's ever so slightly less than 6 buckets of water gets used. So then I've gone ahead and I've installed this convoluted complex piping system with a bunch of pneumatics and stuff, so that when I throw this lever it will feed the water, and it'll also eventually feed the stuff that's in this in these other tanks into the tank. And the way I did that is this one also has a pneumatic in it, and if we look at it, this one's set to only work when it receives no signal, same as these ones are all set to work when it receives no signal. So what's going to happen is that now that that water is all filled back up, these ones on the top have filters so that no water will go into these two, and water is the only thing allowed into this one. So when I flip this back, it'll then go ahead and start emptying out that vat and putting things back into their proper place over here. Very nice. Oh. And that should end up getting 16 filling back out all the way. Yep, it did. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. I've gotten this system to work like this a couple times. Made a little bit of titanium. I'm going to go through the process real quick. Something I want to point out real quick though is if you notice my furnace is sitting here at 1500. That's not enough to process, like, okay, well right here you can see impure titanium ingots. The melting point is 1662. Apparently when you power this with lava, which is, if you remember, that's what I got under there, lava, and it's taking that lava in as it needs it. But to get it higher temperature, you have to use a different fuel, and the easiest fuel that I've found that I have a bunch of is coal. I have a bunch of coal, and I'm getting more all the time because of my mining laser. So when I want to process the actual titanium, and this temperature right here is more than enough to do the limestone part and make the manganese. But when I want to actually get the titanium, what I'm going to have to do is put a bit of coal in there, and then when it finishes its current operation it'll use up the coal, and then now it'll start heating up further. The coal can take it all the way up to 2000 degrees. So I only got to put that in there though when I'm actually processing the titanium. The rutile, I think, does that, well, I had to, that's the other thing. You can only see the temperature that things process when you have this interface open. So now if I mouse over it, you see the rutile takes this higher temperature too. So I want to go ahead and keep coal in it. And it shows solid fuel, shows max temperature that it can get to, and the maximum temperature per piece that it'll raise it. I want to do this process a little faster, so I have some upgrades in the system that I made. I want to heat it up faster, and then I want it to process faster. So let me toss these in, and that should get it to temperature sooner. If I go ahead and toss that in now, as soon as that reaches the proper temperature, it'll start melting the rutile oil, rutile ore. And that's going to give me the impure titanium from the rutile. It's also going to give me a byproduct of some more limestone, which is what I need to make some more manganese to make some more titanium. So let's see if I've gotten any limestone in here. I've got a few blocks of it. I think the laser does in fact bring a little bit of limestone, but the easier way to get the limestone is to just sieve sand, and lots of it. Ooh, got too close to that. I did run 9 stacks of sand through the sieve to get a little bit more manganese made while I was doing the testing of this. So let's actually, before this gets up to temperature, we can go ahead and process this bit of limestone. Because the limestone only takes the 825 degrees, so I wouldn't need the coal in there for that, but while I'm waiting for it to come up to temperature, I might as well go ahead and process it. And it looks like it, by the time it's done processing that bit of limestone, it should be all the way up to temperature. And that's the other thing, you need a lot of limestone. You can see that it doesn't give you a whole lot per piece in millibuckets. I think, was it, gives you 900 millibuckets per piece. So you need quite a lot of it to reach the 26,000 millibuckets that it takes to make one piece of manganese. So what I can do is I can just go ahead and dump that through. That's going to go into the vat, and it's going to get pulled out and end up over here. Yeah. Now these 2 tanks don't have to be quite full because they total 36,000 millibuckets, but they do need to come to that total 26,000 in order to be able to make that piece of manganese. And it's still a little bit manual. I still gotta flip some switches. I occasionally have, you know, every piece of manganese I have to take this tank out and refill it. So it's definitely not a completely automated process. I'm not sure what I could possibly do to make it any more automated than this. It would be nice to just be able to have a chest, throw some materials in it, and have some titanium come out the other side, but I'm not figured that out yet, but if I do, I will make a video about it. So that's gone ahead and it's processed all that magnesium. Now I want to turn this off, so because I don't want my impure titanium going in there. And I can go ahead and start processing this rutile. So you see now that it's up to temperature, it's processing the rutile just fine, and I can probably take that heating upgrade back out. That's the other thing I've been doing a little bit manually. I can take that one heating upgrade that I have in there out and put another hyperkinetic upgrade, which should make that bar move a little faster. And yeah, just a little bit faster. I imagine that takes fuel a little faster. I'm not sure about that. And you can see I'm getting some byproduct of limestone here. So I'm gonna, well, actually, let me show you the way to handle, or the way I'm handling the resulting liquid metal is I'm gonna put it into the ingot caster. And I just flip that switch for that, and it starts pumping into the ingot caster, and you can see the liquid metal in there, and after a few moments it solidifies, and then you just right click it, and it pops out the 4 ingots that it solidified. Great. The reason I have all this impure titanium in my inventory right now is because I did have a portable tank full of liquid titanium earlier because I didn't know what to do with it just yet. So I was saving it in a tank because I had processed a stack of this stuff trying to get some more limestone to try to figure this all out. But this is about, oops, didn't mean to do that. That's buggy. Okay. And there's some more ingots ready to go. Okay, I'm going to be back when I have a bit of the quicklime stored up, so that I can show you the process of actually making the titanium too, which isn't much more difficult than any of this. It really isn't any more difficult. It's just a matter of taking some of these impure titanium ingots and putting an equal number of manganese here in the crucible furnace. So, or sorry, manganese ingot stuff things. Yeah, we'll get to that. So I will be back in a few minutes after this processes. Okay, that's all processed, and I was getting a little tired of clicking on this to repeatedly get the ingots out of it and chasing them around, so I went ahead and I put an item duct that will automatically pull out of the system and then shoot the items back over into this interface back into the ME system. So they'll just show back up in there for me, and then I can get them out right over there if I need to get them back out right away. Okay, so next I want to process this limestone that I got as a byproduct of making the impure titanium into quicklime, and I think I just want to go ahead and shoot that over there for now until I get enough in here. Let's see, I'm going to need at least 13 in each one. Yeah, 13,000 in each one of these approximately, and they're pretty evenly distributed right now. Yeah. So as soon as that gets up to 13,000, I can make some manganese, which is like a dust. And then I can process that manganese into magnesium. And I could either make ingots for later, or I can just leave that magnesium in here and add some impure titanium ingots. So almost there. There we go. We should have enough total now. If I flip this off, and this has 16, yeah, that has 16 so I do this, get myself another piece of manganese here. As soon as all this stuff filters in there, drains in there, let's say water first, and then it'll start to drain the quicklime in there in a second. Maybe. Says there's still water in there. Must be some cycling in the pipe. Maybe. Okay, that apparently worked. Except there's a tiny bit in there now, so I'm going to have to wait until that water gets into there too. So yeah, slight flaw in my little system here. Having the pipe go up to the top is also causing it to cycle around, you know, in a loop. So that didn't work out quite as well as I was hoping that it would. So let me do a couple quick adjustments on this, get this working the way I want it to. What if I just... I know. Just go ahead and stop these. Tell that to eject. Tell it to eject. All those need to eject. And in fact, I'll just take and disconnect the top up here. So if I'm gonna have to smack it with a wrench for each cycle. Okay, and we can see now that there's some, now that it finally got that last little bit of water in there, it made some manganese. Awesome. Oh, awesome. Now, question is, do I have enough in there for another thing? I do not. I don't. Pretty sure that's all my quicklime. Yeah. Do I have a manganese in there? No. So I'm probably only going to get the opportunity to make one bit of titanium. That's okay. I'm going to go ahead and drain out the, and I can go ahead and pick these up because they're not going to matter now. And now it's being funny. Oh, because these are... There we go. No. Taking the materials out of the vat now. Okay, so that's all done, and I need to get rid of this quicklime out of here. So I'm just going to go ahead and just shuffle it through. And it should end up over here in these tanks. Because it's going to get pumped into the vat, and then it's going to get pumped right out of the vat and on over to here. For temporary storage, okay, so that's empty now. So I'll go ahead and turn that one off. I can finally show you that I'm going to make a piece of titanium. So I'm going to melt my manganese, and I'm going to go ahead and put one piece of impure titanium in there right now. Okay, that made 1 ingot of molten magnesium now, and it gave me a byproduct of salt. This should go ahead and... Is it going to melt? No. Okay, so it doesn't want to melt by itself. It doesn't want to go with the dust. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to make that 1 ingot of magnesium. Oh, that was interesting. I got my ingot of magnesium. Put that back in there. Okay. Apparently not. Go in there. There we go. So that time it used up some impure titanium. Did it take... Yeah, anyway, I got 1 ingot of molten titanium. I'll go ahead and pump that out into the ingot caster. And there it goes back into the system. So now I got my titanium. So that's the best process I've been able to come up with for making this work. It's definitely a difficult process to automate. There's definitely a lot of still manual stuff that I have to do to make this work entirely. And when I end up with a full thing of water, apparently I got all my water back out of it last time. And there's water in the system. So I don't know how I ended up with extra water, but apparently I did. That is odd. So if I go ahead and break that, because water is not a big deal. It might have something to do with the way it was cycling around in an infinite loop, and it may have somehow duplicated additional water. Just guessing, going out on a limb here. I don't really know for sure what happened there. But there we go. Now I got the materials back out of there. Definitely not enough to do the process again, but now I have some titanium. And we can look at that titanium. And I want to take just a quick overview of what all that can be used for. That's used in almost all of the high-level upgrades from the Mariculture equipment. Sometime in the top 2 tiers in some of the upgrades. I think actually maybe most of the upgrades, top 2 tiers. Ultimate and advanced. Titanium batteries, which are a good way to, which is a way to carry around RF, and an air compressor. A titanium bucket, which holds more than a regular bucket. And what else? Gas turbine. I guess that's a way to make RF power. Not very useful in Skyblock because there's nowhere to get the gas from. There's no gas blocks down by bedrock because there's no bedrock. And a titanium rotor, which is used in the making of the gas turbine. So mostly what you're going to want the titanium for is for the upgrades, and then you can also make polished titanium rods out of it, which is you have to melt some fish in the crucible furnace and get some fish oil in your vat and put some titanium ingots into the vat to get them to be polished. So that's enough of the Mariculture for now, and apparently it is getting an update in a version that's coming up here real soon to be released. So apparently that's going to change a bunch of things, and I'm going to have to more or less either respawn all my fish or just completely start over with the fish. So, oh look, I got a goldfish finally. Awesome. Well, I did manage to breed a fish. But I'm not going to really worry too much about the fish for now because I'm going to wait until the new version comes out and then I will come back to that. So on to setting up my bee area over here to use Gendustry instead of the, for lack of a better term, vanilla bee stuff, because this is the original forestry stuff. So so we'll call that the vanilla bees. I mean, there's no bees in vanilla, obviously, but those were the original beekeeping things that first appeared in modded Minecraft. So we are going to check out a new, improved, industrial way of getting our bees to do what we want in a much faster manner. But first, I'm going to need a Tesseract. Do I make a Tesseract? I did. I have a Tesseract ready to go for this. So I'm going to want to craft some the industrial apiaries. Industrial apiaries, and there it is from Gendustry. That's going to be the first most important block. So I'm going to need to get some sturdy casings. Let's start with those. I think I want to go ahead and just start with 4. I'm going to need some, what's that called? Bee receptacles. So I'm going to need some weighted plates. For those, I'm going to need to make that receptacle. 1, 2, 3, and what am I missing? Gold? I'm sure I have gold. It's probably just in block form. Yeah, plenty. Well, what is that? No, that's bronze. Okay, that's not too big of a deal. I think I have some bronze. I do not have any bronze ready to go. So let me get some tin and some copper, and I'm going to throw those in the smeltery, make some bronze blocks, and I will cut that out, and I'll be right back. Okay, I totally forgot that I don't need to smelt that down. I can just put 3 copper and a ingot of tin in here and get 4 bronze. So we'll just grab me 2 stacks of those for the time being, and get back to business here. Making my industrial apiary, so I need bee receptacles. I think I had, how many did those I already have made? I have 3 of those made, so I need 1 more. Get me the industrial back up on here. I need some bronze pistons. That looks pretty simple. Copper in the middle, bronze around it. 3, 4, I'm going to need 8 of those total to make my 4 initial industrial apiaries. I need some pistons, so let me just go ahead and get some more pistons. I'm just going to get a full stack of pistons, because I'm going to need them. I'm going to need more later anyway for a quest turn-in. Grab a stack of those. Oh, looks like I had a bunch of them already too, but that's not a big deal. Can always use more pistons. And I should have some glass in the inventory, maybe? Yeah, it just it was doing that funny thing where it wants to put in exactly what it was showing on the screen at the time. So if I go ahead and get me 4 of those, and then I'm going to need some conduit. Oh, look at that. I have 4 pieces of redstone energy conduit. I shouldn't need that heavy duty stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and use it anyway. And then if I get a item duct to go right along there too. I'm going to come back over here and I want to check out my chunk borders because I want these to stay loaded. And in this chunk right here, so I want to go right along here, right along this edge. I'm going to start with the, actually I think I wanted to, well, put the item duct along the bottom. Why not? So we'll pull out the bottom. That's going to be the Tesseract. I want that to be on the main frequency. So I want that to be receiving power. Let's check the setup here. Receiving energy. Okay, it doesn't need to be receiving any fluid, but it does need to be sending items back into the system. Okay, great. And in just a moment I will show you what I did to initially set that up. 2, 3, 4, and get the, whoops, and while I'm since I'm working right over here along the edge, I better use my flight potion. Got one of my backups here I got from a quest recently. Don't need that no more, so I know where they're gonna go. And yeah, that makes me feel a lot better. I did not put one there. There's a little bit of lag. 4. Yeah, there's the results of these guys running continuously for quite some time now. I've gotten a lot of meadows, princesses, and forest princesses, just that, you know, because it occasionally makes the extra ones. So I've gotten quite a few of those. And I've been just flipping this one by hand occasionally. It looks like it's dark out right now, but that shouldn't be a big deal here in a moment. So I actually, yeah, I want to, no, that won't work. What am I thinking? I'm gonna need 1 more of these redstone energy conduits is what I'm thinking. Because this one will get power, because it's right on the Tesseract, but these other 3 over here are gonna need are gonna need an energy conduit run to them. Okay? Which is gonna shift click that. So let me go grab another energy conduit. Should only take a moment. Get a couple of those and some redstone. Still haven't gotten to automating this whole process yet, but oh, it's still set up from when I had the quests. The liquid quests were all getting worked on over here. I finished all the ones that needed that system set up. Apparently I have, oh yeah, I have destabilized redstone that I can turn in, so that could be my quest for this episode. If I come in here and look at go with the flow. I completed all these other ones, the Great Ball of Fire and the cooler than a whatever. I'm not sure what they're calling for there. Actually, I think I know, but I'm not going to say it. But destabilize redstone, select that task. Let's see, that needs to be switched over to the destabilized. Get a bucket. And I'm already set to redstone, so get a bucket of that. And I'm just going to tell this to export that stuff. Put that bucket back in there. And as soon as I give this the go ahead, it should start completing the quest. There we go. Go ahead, and there should be plenty of redstone conduit now available for me. Wow, look at that. It already completed that quest. So let me go ahead and turn that in. Ooh, we get a bunch of another redstone. And see what I got for my reward. Purple cloth slabs. You know, I think that's probably the third time I've gotten that reward, so it gets less impressive each time. Not that it ever was impressive. And I think the redstone, did I throw this redstone in my system already? Did it go someplace? It probably went into my digger's chest here. No. Maybe I did throw it in there. Anyway, not a big deal. I've got plenty of redstone regardless. But now I can get back over here, put this last piece of energy conduit in. And I can start putting these over into there. So this one's going to be my forest queen. And there you go, it's starting to work. It's working already. And meadows. And I just want to take all this stuff out, and it's probably going to want to, I just want it to go into the system, I think, because I'm just going to go ahead and remove this stuff. So it's run its course. Get over here. And just toss this stuff in, and I'm not too worried about this stuff taking up a bunch of space, and I'll show you why here in a second. In the ME system, for one, I've added a bunch of ME drives, and there should actually be another ME drive ready to go. No, didn't finish, so I'm going to go ahead and begin that again. But I have a bunch of ME drives there, and up here I have put together an indexer and connected it with a storage bus. So bees, anytime I get any bees and I set the priority list to the highest priority in the whole system, anytime a bee enters the system, it's going to attempt to put it in there first. Well, actually, anytime anything enters the system, it's going to attempt to put it in the indexer first. And if it's not a bee, it won't go in there, so it'll go to the next lower priority place. But anytime bees go in the system, they'll go in straight into the indexer, so I don't have to worry about any of these drives getting filled up with bees. And you may notice that all of my lower drives are pretty much solidly full of bytes. And that is because they're all little. They're all 1Ks. So over time, I'm going to be continuing to upgrade all of these to 64Ks. And hopefully that will be as much storage as I need for those two there. So we'll see how that goes. Go back over here. My bees are working, and I'm going to get some upgrades in these. Probably not going to get to that this episode. I'm going to go ahead and clean these up. Got kind of explained what I was doing with the mariculture, kind of like what I figured out. Got a little bit of start into my industrialization of my bees. Not going to get too far into it this episode. Next episode is going to be nothing but bees. I'm going to do nothing but bees, work on some upgrades for my industrial apiaries, and start into some breeding, which is probably I'll make some other machines that are going to like sit over here for the breeding part, and then I will probably end up with a second row of bees. And I just realized I did something I shouldn't have, which was I put this power line on the wrong side, because that power line is outside of my loaded chunks. Oh, come back here, don't fall. Ooh, don't want to lose that. Yeah, that power line's not where I actually should have it. I should have it on this side. Like so. And then I can put another row of industrial apiaries here for the future. But anyway, I'm not going to get into the specifics of how these are going to operate. Okay, seems like I need to set the... And that was one of the things I wanted to check to see if I needed to set these to... Do I just need to set them to export? Oops. Does that start ejecting them? Does not look like it. Oh, and well, they're not doing anything right now because it's raining, but nope, they're going to require pneumatics for each one of those. So I'm going to grab those and put them in. I'm going way over my time now, probably, because I spent a good portion explaining about the things I needed to do to make the mariculture stuff work. Which seems a bit mute now, because I'm going to end up actually going away from mariculture until a future pack upgrade when that restabilizes, because apparently there's some problems with it in 2.1.5 version of the Agrarian Skies pack, so I will not be upgrading to that version, especially since I'm doing some fish breeding right now. I'll probably do a little bit more fish breeding off camera, and I'm not sure what I will do about when it comes time to upgrading, so I'll have to do something special. But next episode, bees, I swear. Nothing but bees, and maybe a little bit of trees. So, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, like it, subscribe, tell all your friends. If not, let me know what I can do to do better in the next episode. Appreciate the input, and appreciate you watching. Later.